Start recording. All right. Let's go. Yeah, I finally have my mic. So y'all can hear me a little bit better. Peace and blessings, everybody. It's your girl, Melissa Renee with BellaMinded.com. And I'm kind of starting my little segments. This segment I'm starting my podcast myself. I was kind of going back and forth. I did not know exactly what to call my podcast. I went through so many names, self-care for the soul, blah, 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 blah. But I thought about it because I've been Bella minded. Her mind is beautiful for so long. I was like, why not call it Her Mind is Beautiful? Because this is kind of like a glimpse into my life, my mind, how my mind is working or healing or transforming, or how I'm discovering things. And I was like, yeah, her mind is beautiful. So that is the podcast. This is the show I'm going to be calling it. Hopefully I can grow to the point where I get guests and it can just grow leaps and bounds beyond my eyes. So I'm not new to doing podcasts. I had a podcast show before with a co-host. It was called Drinks and Discussions. And I was trying so hard to bring that back, y'all. I was trying so hard to figure out a way to bring that show back, Drinks and Discussion. But it just wasn't working and it wasn't happening for so many reasons I can expound on. But just to save us some time, it just didn't work. And sometimes you have to know when to let something go, when something is in the past, when the season has came, the season has gone. It's time for you to move on. And I have to let drinks and discussion go. It's time for us to move on. I can still have some drinks. I mean, right now, I'm drinking on some tea. But who knows? Depending on how I feel, it might be a little wine sometimes. Y'all see me, a little cocktail, whatever the case may be. Right now, today is some peppermint tea. Yes. So with that being said, I had to let it go. And I decided to change the name to Her Mind is Beautiful, because I do want to get into some real conversations that just surpasses just the typical entertainment gossip type of news. Not to say that it's those conversations and topics we can't learn from, but I just wanted to kind of move in a more authentic direction. So me talking about changing these things comes with the topic at hand, the perfect topic at hand. The perfect topic, since this is going to be my first topic, and it just came to me. I'm doing this really spur off the moment. Like, it just came to me, and Spirit was like, do it. Don't procrastinate. The topic that came, since I'm talking about how I had to let drinks and discussion go, and I have to grow into Her Mind is Beautiful. And the topic was being afraid of change. Being afraid of change, and not just being afraid of things changing around you, but us as people being afraid to change within ourselves. And this topic came because I was listening to Lady 303 High Priestess, Diane. Shouts out to her. Y'all make sure y'all go watch her. She's amazing. I love her. Listen, her platform is way bigger than me, but so I'm sure some of y'all already know, but just in case, it came on the brinks of her talking about hiding behind a mask and not being your authentic self and showing up and being yourself. And you guys, I have struggled with this for some time now. And I talk a lot about being my authentic self and talking about other people being their authentic selves, because this has been quite a struggle for me. And the struggle has come because it's like it's so many elements with the struggle of me just being my authentic self and putting that mask down. And with that being said, it also speaks to that's a process of change. That's changing when you take your mask off. And to me, the mask represents the conformity of who we've become to be accepted by the masses or the people around us. And the masses could be, friends, family, co-workers, just the general society, what is considered the norm. And with that, it can be kind of hard to want to step into those things and just be who you know deep down inside you want to be, or you just gravitate to be, or you just hunger to be. And it feels like you can't be those things because you worry so much about what people say or what people have to say. And Diane was speaking a lot about that in the reading for Pisces when she was reading it. And I was like, oh man, like this is dead on, because I struggle a lot with other people's perception of me. And I go back and forth with it, because the Pisces in me, which is my sun sign, that's my my purpose, who I, am to the core. Like she want to just be, okay? She just want to be her quirky, weird, in the stars, in the clouds, occult. And for those who don't know what a cult is, it just means like, you're into a lot of hidden knowledge, things that, which I am. I'm very into, like, me. I look at somebody and it's like I see your surface, but I want to know what's behind that. So I am somebody who's very driven to the hidden knowledge, the mysteries, the mystique, the magic behind people, things, places. Like that's me. And like, that Pisces in me has been beating down the door to get out. But then my moon sign, my Virgo is like, she's like my practical, like I'm literally in the spirit of a yin and a yang, and she's my practical side who wants to just kind of like, well, hold on, this might be a little too much. This might be too much for people. You don't want to go all the way in, like rear it back. You don't want to drown yourself. You don't want to end up just being out here on an island by yourself. You got to reel it in. So it's a real tug of war with me. And I realize that might be what a lot of people are going through too. Like, you're fighting this urge to bring out this authenticity within you, who you really are. And then you're also battling like, well, I don't want to scare people off, or I don't want to come off looking this way. I don't want to, so it's a back and forth struggle. And it's like, basically, it kind of hinders our growth. I know it hinders my growth. And it's coming to a point where I'm like, I just have to just be who I am. And either you accept it, you love it, you don't. Because I know right now, and I'm using me for an example. So through this podcast, through this show, a lot of times I am sacrificing myself and putting myself on the display to use me in the things that I've experienced in my life to be the example for those out there to understand. And for me, I know people look at me like, well, Lord, she went from She went from this to that to that to that. Like, she went from being beauty, she went from doing makeup, she went from doing all of this, and now she's, vegetarian, and she's into herbs, and she's reading oracle cards. Like, now she's doing astrology. What is this? Like, who is she? Like, she all over the place. And I'm sure that is what some people think, because I've done that. I can admit to myself, I am a victim of that as well. And I don't want to say victim, but I can't think of the word right now that I want to say. So I can say that I've done that too. And I know for a fact, because I've actually stopped myself. I've saw someone and I'm like, oh, so you doing that now? And then I had this, my high self was like, hold on. Don't wait a minute, because like let's go back to a lot of the transitions you've made. It's like, come on. And the reality is I had to check myself and say, people grow, people evolve, people transition, transform, and people change. And I think that's a lot of the things that we're afraid of, is that other people outside of us won't see the change and won't see the authenticity that we see within ourselves, But going into that, I will say, talk about some little key topics that I said I was going to talk about. So, we're going to call this one Being Afraid to Change. And the stumbling blocks are the obstacles that we need to face and get over to not be afraid to change anymore. And one is the uncertainty. And I just spoke about that. A lot of the uncertainties, like looking at me, like I'm uncertain every day. Every day I feel like maybe I should just stop everything I'm doing. Maybe I should just turn back around. I use me in my weight loss journey as an example for so many times. Like, a lot of times what people don't know, what comes off new to them because they see you doing it consistently now. It's new to them, but what they don't realize is these are things that you may have been like trying to do for so long, but due to your own lack mentality, or whatever internal issues you had, you just couldn't do it. So I use an example, like when I started to be you kind of can say plant-based, vegetarian-ish. We'll say ish, because I ate fish and seafood and stuff like that. But, when my family and my associates found out, it was kind of like, oh, you don't, but what they didn't know, what my husband knew, was that I was struggling to do this for years. I want to say since like 2010, I was trying to juice. I was trying to limit meat and find alternatives, and try to not eat meat, because I researched and read the quality of life you have when you kind of don't eat so much of the toxic processed foods, and how certain meats can be toxic to your health, depending on like how you eat, how much you eat, whatever the case may be. So reading up on these days, this is something that I always wanted to do. I went out, bought a bunch of stuff plenty of times, but I never saw it through due to my own mentality. You see what I'm saying? So by the time it's now 2020 something and I'm actually doing it, it's new to everybody else, but it wasn't new to me. And the only difference was this time I was certain. This time I knew this is what I wanted to do. And excuse me. And I was certain that I was going to make this happen regardless of whoever. What, nobody was getting in my way. The same thing with me losing the weight. Like, I was up to like 160 pounds no, I was up to 174 pounds. And when I really buckled down and said, I'm going to lose this weight. But what people don't know is that since 2010, I was trying, 2010 or 2009, I was trying to always lose weight. I was always trying to, I was doing Taebo, I was doing yoga, I was doing the treadmill, I was trying to run and walk with my husband. This wasn't new things. So that's the thing that we need to take into our mind and understand, is that these people outside of us are not around us 24/7 out of the day. So it's aspects of us that they don't see and they don't know unless we reveal those things. And that's the same thing we need to keep in mind with other people. So just because you may see somebody and it might seem like, oh, she's, oh, all of a sudden, or oh, she's just now, this is what she's doing, but you don't know what that person is struggling with, or what that person, the obstacles that person is trying to get over to get to the point where they are now. You don't know what they did to get to that point. It comes off to you like they just popped out and now they're doing something new, but you don't know what process or journey they went through to get up to that point. So we have to keep that in mind. So with the uncertainty of, I feel like that's kind of the journey you go through with getting to the point of certainty. You're kind of uncertain. So it's like, I want to try this. Oh, it's kind of hard. Oh, this, oh, that, you know what I'm saying? And it makes you kind of be like, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I shouldn't do it, because it's like, I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know if this change is going to, like, what if this change isn't for me? What if I did uproot my whole life into doing this process or going through this journey and it's not for me? What if, it's not going to look the way I expect it to look? What is it going to look like? How is this going to make me feel? Is it going to make me feel better? Am I going to regret it? So we have all of these uncertainties, which makes us afraid of change, all of these uncertainties. And then once again, it's about being accepted. We're afraid about being accepted because it's like, and I feel like that goes along with one of the uncertainties. Will they accept me? Will they believe that this is truly who I am? Will they see and recognize that this is authentically who I want to be and who I'm trying to be? The same thing with me trying to lose weight. Like, I was in the process of doing this forever. For not forever, but for a long, long, long time. It was like on and off, on and off. And just because of some aspects of people who are not in my life daily, who just see what I post on social media, or they only see me on holidays or this, that, and the third, they don't know. And even some people who you may talk to on the phone regularly, it doesn't mean that we inform them on every aspect of what we're thinking and what we're going through, because some of us like to process things and see if this is something we truly like. How are we truly convicted in this feeling before we start discussing it with other people? Because people will talk you out of things, and that goes along with being afraid you won't be accepted. So if I'm telling people, well, yeah, I think I'm about to be vegetarian, I don't want to eat meat. You don't want to eat meat? Girl, I cannot, I'm going to eat my meat. I don't see how you gonna do that. How you that? That's not this. That's not that. And it's all of these things. And I don't think people do it and I don't think it's with ill intent. I just think that sometimes we don't realize how we project our own insecurities to people when we hear things that are unfamiliar or that are uncomfortable. And contrary to popular belief, I know people say, oh, don't talk about politics with people. Don't talk about religion with people because, this, that, and the third. But it's a whole lot can go on that list. If you start talking about health with people, it gets nasty. It can get nasty when you talk about health because people are so convicted or sometimes conditioned into what they've grown up to believe or what they want to believe, or just the fact that they know they have unhealthy habits that they don't want to kick. And I don't need you coming over here with your healthy habits of the day trying to kick me off of, or trying to get in my psyche and make me feel like, oh well, I have to start eating better. Like, I don't need you putting that in my face. So I want to be blind. I want to turn a blind eye. I want to eat what I want. And I want to believe that the health issues that I have are not from me and what I've done to my body, but that's just what's going to happen anyway. That's just life. Because we tend to, as human beings, do not like to take accountability. We don't like to take accountability for a lot of things in our lives. We rather place the blame and feel as though we lack the control, or we don't have control of the things that are happening within us, because that's what we've been conditioned to believe. It's funny because I feel like we've been conditioned to believe that the things we don't have control over, we can control. And the things that we do have control over, we can't control. And I don't think that's by coincidence. Okay. So it's a lot of frightenness that comes with wanting to be accepted. So when I step out here and I start to say, you know what, I've been doing my oracle cards, I've been doing my readings behind the scenes for like 2 years, and I want to start sharing this stuff with. It's led on me to share this stuff, and it's like, oh, what are people going to think? What are people going to feel? You know what I'm saying? So you're looking. It's like you're looking for the negativity. So you build up this defensiveness, but at the same time, you're looking for the acceptance, to make you feel more comfortable in proceeding in that journey of a new direction. And it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because unfortunately people lie, people aren't genuine. So the same people who will sit in your face and act like, oh, they accept what you're doing and they support you, be the same ones behind your back talk, but she cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And then the same one who don't support it and frown up their nose, they the same one listening to my readings like, she kind of got something, but I'll never tell her. I'll never tell her. So with that being said, you really cannot depend on the acceptance or lack thereof of people outside of you, because you'll get it wrong. You just never know. So you have to build the acceptance within yourself. So I had to say, this is what I like doing. I like reading. I like, talking about spirituality. I like delving in and talking about astrology, because it really helped hone me in on self-discovery and understanding me and understanding others. Like, I like that. This is what I like to do. So this is what I'm going to do. Another thing is being uncomfortable. We're afraid of being uncomfortable. I don't know about anybody else, but we think because we just have this passion, or I think that I have this passion and this, like, okay, I'm going to do this, it's just led on me. It's just, because I'll say this, when it comes to everything that I've done up to this point, like, it's been like gnawing at me. Like, it's like I could try to ignore it. I could try to push it back, but it's just like, do it. Why you ain't doing it? Why you ain't doing it? Why? So it's like, okay, I'm going to do it, because it's just going to eat away at me if I don't try. I'd rather be able to say, I put it out there, I tried, than to say, and it didn't work, than to say, I didn't try and now it's a missing opportunity. I don't know where it could have led me. So basically, when it comes to me stepping out there and doing what I do, stepping into, me authentically, who I am gravitating towards being and doing, it's like you have this in your mind, it's going to be a cakewalk because, right, this is my purpose, right? Boom, I'm here. It's just naturally, and it's like, no, not really. That's not how it works. So now you stepping in, you just like, oh man, like you don't realize that with change, it changes the dynamics of a lot of things. So it's not going to look the way it used to look. It's not going to feel the way it used to feel. It's going to bring in a different set of people. It's going to leave behind a people from the past. It's going to make you feel like, I don't know this. I'm not used to this. I don't know. Like when I started doing my readings, it was just like, ugh, maybe, am I doing it right? Am I doing it? And I'm like, this is you channeling messages from the divine, from the most high, from your spiritual guides. No one can tell you how to do that. No one can tell you how to channel and speak with and connect with the Most High. No one can. No one can tell you how to channel and speak with your higher self. No one can. There is no right or wrong way to do what you're doing. So I had to step in and just do it. And it felt a little uncomfortable because, I felt like I was just out here waiting in the water, like no support, nothing under me, nobody confirming or saying, yes, this is it. Because, see, that's the scary part of change when it comes to ourselves. We don't have anyone, some people may have, but I don't. It's not anyone saying, yes, what you're doing, this is right. You're on the right path. Keep going. Keep moving. You got it. You finally see what your purpose is. You finally see your direction. Let's go. Like there's nobody saying that to me. There's nobody coming to me confirming that the decision I made was the decision I'm supposed to make. So it's like you're on this road by yourself of uncharted waters or just unknown territory, and you're just walking and you're just, feeling it out as you go. And then you have to find the discernment within yourself. That's what I had to do. I had to find it within myself. I had to, my intuition, listening to the Most High, the spirits, they had to be the confirming to me. And still, yet, that's still kind of scary because it's like, you telling someone like, yeah, the Most High, this is the direction the Most High told me. Really? God told you that, huh? Because who's to make them believe that, what is God gonna be like? I told her that. Chill. That's what I told her to do. So it's like I struggle with that. Like now you uncomfortable, and it's like now you feel the need to be like, well, maybe I should just crawl back into that shell again, or go back to what people are used to me doing, or maybe I have to convince people like God really did say this to me. Or maybe I have to learn how to be affirming and be confident in the connection I have with the Most High and just do what I'm meant to do. It's plenty of times I feel like going back. Like maybe I should just go back and just do this makeup thing again. Like maybe I should just stick to doing the makeup and just pushing the beauty thing. Like maybe I should do that. But in reality, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. So then I have to tell myself, you can go back, but are you going to be fulfilled? Like, yeah, you're great at it, but does it fulfill you? And that's a lot of things. A lot of people don't understand why I don't do makeup anymore, because it wasn't fulfilling. Like I wanted deeper. Like I was deeper than that. I was deeper than that. I was seeing, I was feeling, I was wanting something deeper than that. And I just, it just wasn't enough. I think if I blew up and became the best, biggest makeup artist in the world, it would still be something out there I was trying to find and get, because that wasn't the thing that was going to have me being fulfilled. Even though I love doing it, I like doing it, and I think it served its purpose for what it served its purpose for. I think I needed that. I think I needed that and to boost my confidence and my creativity and challenge me to learn that I can, start something. I think me doing makeup and learning makeup was the first thing that I did that I never did in my life. And I just progressively kept doing it and I didn't quit, and I saw it through. And I needed that. I needed that to help me with my confidence. I needed that to show me results. Just now, it's just, I feel like another level was unlocked, because in this moment, me talking about this makeup and me following through and me getting to the point where I'm great at doing makeup was just the understanding I needed just now to let me know, like, what you're doing now, you got to keep going and you got to follow it through. And and it's all coming full circle. But yes, without that journey into my makeup, I don't think it would have stride me in other directions to kind of push forward, because after the makeup thing, then, and I didn't see it like that, but had I seen it like that, I probably could have been on my journey of losing weight much sooner too. But I accomplished that too. And I accomplished, you can do this. That's what that makeup taught me. I can do this. And it made me see myself and view myself as, like, you're beautiful, you're attractive. Like, I mean, I am without the makeup too, but it just, I had kids, I needed that boost in some sense. So everything happens for a reason. So I don't disregard my makeup journey, because it happened for a reason. Saying all of that, this brings me to the thought process of, like, spiritual alchemy. And told you I was thinking about spiritual alchemy when I was just talking about me trying to evolve and change and transform, and learning that we are all alchemists in regards to just transforming who we are. And when it comes to change, I think the best thing we have to do, and what I'm learning, is we have to detach our mentality or our thought process of who we saw ourselves as, or who we allow other people to project their perception of who they think we are onto us, because sometimes that happens too, and we're not being honest about that. A lot of us, myself included, walked around with the perception of who we were based off of other people. It wasn't who we thought we were. It's who other people kind of told us who we were. Somebody kept telling you was lazy, 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 lazy. Even though, at some point in time, you didn't feel like you was lazy, but you heard it so much, then you started to allow their projection to then transfer to you. And now you believe you're a lazy person. And so now you start to live in that mindset of, well, I'm lazy, and it's only two results that's going to happen from that. You either are going to become that and be very lazy, or you're going to try to fight against that notion, and you're going to just overwork yourself and exhaust yourself and drain yourself. So a lot of times, what we're detaching from, what we're burning, when I know people say you're burning your old self, you're detaching from your old self, but I think we're burning and detaching from the perception that we've allowed other people to place on us. That's what we're burning and tearing down. Because that's who we were. Never that. That's not who we ever were. But we carried it around because, I mean, if you telling me this, if this is what you see from me, if you see this when you see me, if you see laziness, if you see can't get right, if you see intelligent, if you see weak, then That must be what I'm showing you, right? Because that's what you see. So we carry that around like, this must be who I am, because this is what they see. When in reality, that's not what they see. What in reality, they're projecting what they feel about themselves onto you. So you're actually carrying around the perception of somebody else, and you don't even realize it. And yes, it's time for you to burn it. It's time for you to detach it. It's time for you to get rid of it. So, like the first stage they say of a spiritual alchemist, or alchemy, is what? Calcination. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So I'm reading something from thecollector.com. And it says the 7 stages of spiritual alchemy and what they mean. So this first stage, it says calcination. Spiritual alchemy stage 1, calcination. Calcination, the first stage of spiritual alchemy, is also known as the black stage. The color black represents chaos, that which is hidden and buried, and the material of the unconscious. It also refers to the materia prima, which is the idea in occult sciences that all matter in the universe emerged from an original primitive base. Calcination refers to the burning of the materia prima until it is transformed into ash. In a spiritual sense, it refers to breaking with our worldly attachments. And in that, I will reference and say, I felt like worldly attachments is what we have been conditioned to believe how we should be in this society. Moving on, the desire for status, wealth, and the need to solidify our identity. It's not to say these things are wrong, but according to the process, the development of a higher level of consciousness and the refinement of the spirit is hindered by these attachments. So basically, it's saying that it's not wrong, not saying that these are bad things, but it can, because you're attached to it, it can hinder you from really being able to align yourself in your purpose and what you're really meant to do. So, if you're out here and you're really meant to heal people with your words, you could be more focused on your identity as far as being wealthy, or being having status of that such. I'll continue. Calcination also refers to the burning off of all the superfluous. Hold on, let me get the word right. Burning off of all of the superfluous elements, I don't know if I said that right, of ourselves that no longer serve us. We are purified by fire, and the hardened and dead parts of ourselves have burned away. All that has calcified in ourselves is removed in a similar way to how hardened plaque built up on teeth can be removed. Our preconceived notions about our identity and our beliefs are put to the test in the calcination stage. Our ideologies, our neuroses begin to lessen their grip on the persona, enabling one's true spirit to awaken, your authentic self. The calcination stage has been likened to the dark night of the soul. This 16th century poem describes the journey of the soul to unification with God, whereby our former worldview is dismantled and we undergo a kind of existential crisis. Excuse me, y'all. The beginnings of spiritual development are typically erroneous, since our former ties of identification are no longer valid and we come face to face with the void. So I don't know if some of y'all, like right now, I can understand when they say you come face to face with a void. It's kind of like you kind of feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm going. I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere, like I'm lost, or I feel like I'm just a sitting duck in water. Like I just, it's like I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back there. I know that it's not real. I know that's not who I am. I know that's not what I'm meant to be. I know this is not, I know these are conditioning tactics to, you know, keep me separate and unattached from myself. I don't want to go back there. But it's like I don't know what is up ahead. And then you come face to face with the fact of I just don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I am doing. But it's okay. It is absolutely okay because that's the first stage. That's the first stage. What you're experiencing is not knowing who you are at the moment because you've detached yourself. You've got rid of that identity that was conditioned or projected onto you because that's all you knew. So now that that is gone, I don't know who the heck I am. And this is when you just lean into your spiritual guides. This is when you lean into the Most High and you just say, cover me, lead me, guide me. And then you get into a space of your your feminine energy, and you just let it flow. And that's kind of where I am right now, to be honest with you. Like, I don't really know my identity right now. I can't, I can't tell you, like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. Like, I can't just label myself right now. I just can't. I just can't tell you, like, which makes it difficult for me on stuff like my podcast or when it comes to branding myself on YouTube or my website, because I just can't tell you, like, I'm just this, I'm just that. I don't know. I don't know right now. But I do know that I'm going and I'm flowing and I'm just doing what comes natural to me, what I gravitate to. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not moving in any one direction. Like, I'm not running to, like, oh, I need to find a teacher or somebody who can teach me this, because I just don't know. I'm just treading the water. I'm floating. I'm walking the nature walk in the woods, and I'm just looking. And that is scary as shit. Scary as hell. I'm in the stage, like, I think I'm just understanding, like, I'm scared out of my freaking mind. But I just cannot let the fear hold me back. I cannot let the fear stifle me. And maybe because I have the strong sense of protection, I feel like I am being protected, I am being covered. So I'm leaning into that faith and I'm good. But no, I don't have a clue. And it's okay. I just want y'all to know it is okay to not have a clue. It is okay to be completely lost. I think when we admit to ourselves that we are lost is when it alleviates some of the fear. And I mean, still scared, but I'm not so frightened that I won't just keep going. Like I'm still kind of like walking but with, I guess I look at it more now as an adventure. So I'm just having an adventure right now. And I'm just moving forward. And I just have faith in the Most High and my spiritual guides and my ancestors to keep me, hold me, cover me through whatever this is at this moment to get me to the other side, because I'm not going back. I think I've made that determination at this point right now, because I've been looking back a lot. Maybe I should just maybe, but it's like, no, I'm not going back. And maybe this is the point of the calcination. Maybe that's the burning. That's the metaphoric burning, the metaphoric calcination, the metaphoric turning yourself into ashes is when you say, I'm not going back and I'm not looking back. And what does that remind you of? Lot, right? From the Bible. Y'all, this just came to me. At this moment in time, I'm telling you, Spirit is speaking, I'm not. Thank you to the Most High. Spirit is speaking, I am not. Because Spirit just brought that to me. Lot, the story of Lot in the Bible, when Lot's wife, I'm not sure, I don't know verbatim, I'm not a Bible, my knowledge ain't, but that's what I'm getting. Lot's wife, a woman. That's what I'm seeing. A woman looking back, turning into ashes. And I feel like I'm giving that by Spirit to say, that's you're looking back. Go forward. Let all of that burn down behind you. Let that go into ashes. Because if you look back, you're going to turn back and you're going to burn with it. But you're just trying to burn that old, that old perception of who you are, so that you can go forward. So yeah. Yes. So with that being said, I mean, I kind of wrapped that up in an hour. I'm proud of myself. I didn't go on and on and on, but y'all tell me your thoughts, like, are you now in a stage where you feel the urge of wanting to just step out of the comfort zone of what you've known yourself to be, or what other people have known yourself to be? Sometimes those things cause us to be depressed and cause a lot of things, because we're trying to be something that we have outgrown, that we are no longer. That's not who we are anymore. So are you afraid? Are you feeling weighed down? Do you just want to just feel free and I just want to be who I want to be, without the limitations or the eyes or the people looking at me or questioning me, or me even questioning myself? Do you feel that way? Can you relate? Tell me, write to me if y'all want to. Y'all can write me at I'm Melissa. I am Melissa, Melissa, Renee at gmail.com. If you've had any experiences, or you just need someone to talk to about some struggles and strife you're going through as far as changes, let me know. Write in the comments, whatever the case may be. And if you enjoyed this, if this was helpful, please put a thumbs up. Make sure you press that notification bell for YouTubers. For people watching me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you also subscribe to my website, bellaminded.com. And I thank you all for being here. I'm so grateful. Thank y'all. This is therapeutic for me, so I appreciate you all being here. Peace and blessings. Until next time.